But I wanted to get the point across that if I have a condition and I struggle with, certain things, limitations, but I'm still showing up every day at the gym to get these gains, and what's your excuse?
Sometimes you gotta delete the app. Sometimes you have to walk away. Sometimes you have to fall back into the dark room and focus on you.
What's up, guys? It's been a minute since I've done something like this over here on Premiere with my footage that we're gonna go through for my recent pull day workout. Obviously, with the name pull day, I do a simple push-pull leg split. However, I do a push-pull leg Arnold split. So you do every muscle group twice a week. And so in this video, we're just doing some pull. We're gonna talk about it, talk about the split and whatnot. I just thought I'd do something different, teach people who are new, especially those who have some sort of condition where you can't traditionally do traditional exercises. Like myself, I can't squat, I can't bench press, so I had to learn and work around these kind of things and figure out ways that I can still target these muscle groups without doing the traditional exercise. I thought I'd kind of just teach people and go from there. So first exercise I did was a seated cable row. However, we're gonna lower it a little bit. So as you see, instead of doing a traditional pull, like with two hands and your feet on both plates or whatever you want to call them, I put one foot on the opposite, as you see, opposite foot plate, and I really try to get the stretch in with my lat and really try to engage my lat. As you can see, I'm kind of leaning into it. Yeah, so I usually do for any sort of exercise 3 sets. These sets would usually start off, the first set being lightest, second being a little bit more heavier, and third being the heaviest, getting at least 5 reps in there, and then I would do a 4th set occasionally, which would be a drop set. So what a drop set is, if you don't know, in this case we'll just say we're doing cable rows for the lats, which is the side of your back essentially. On the first set I did maybe 15 pounds, the second set I did 20 pounds, and on the third set, my heaviest set, this is, I can no longer do more than 5 reps. So I would do my 5 reps. That's the most I can do. That's the heaviest I can do without really jeopardizing form. I'll do my 5 reps and I would drop it back down to either the first starting weight or a little bit lighter than that. And I essentially would do different tempos. So tempos as they sound, you can do, I guess we're gonna do it in the example of a row here. You can just, pull it and without really controlling it, but you're not really getting much out of it. You're just getting reps, which is fine in its own right, but you can change it up to make it more difficult by doing something like slowing it down and really trying to get the stretch in, and then exploding on the way to the top of the rep, and then slowing it down, really trying to control the weight. So that's what I usually do on my drop set. I would drop it to my starting weight or a weight that's a little bit lighter, and I would do something like that and change the tempo. So you don't have to go heavy as long as you're really challenging yourself, trying to control the weight. You don't gotta go heavy. That's something I really want to preach here, especially somebody trying to grow and I'm very limited in what I can do. One thing I learned to challenge myself, instead of just pulling the weight or doing whatever it is, control it. I believe I think eccentric is when you're on the way back. So if I'm doing a row, controlling it is really important, and that can be done with any exercise. So here we did rows for a few sets. I don't want to bore you guys too much, but as you can see here, so I flip sides, really trying to get as far as I can. I can't go anymore, so what I do is I'll do a drop set. I would change the weight, and then I would grab both handles this time, but I would be at sort of forward facing a little bit to really engage the lats. And I'm going super light here. This is like maybe 10 pounds, I believe. I'm just squeezing them as much as I can, my lats. And like I said, challenge yourself, change the tempo, go lighter. You don't always have to go heavy. And so as a person with a condition who can't go super heavy, one thing I learned really build that mind muscle connection is changing up the tempos and controlling your weight. That was exercise number 1. And moving on to exercise number 2, we did regular rows. These are a little bit different variation from rows. I like to do these because I get a really nice stretch at the bottom of the rep, and I can get a little bit, go a little bit heavier with this exercise. But as you can see, controlling it best as I can, not really trying to throw away my form. You don't see me just going back as much as I can. No, I'm really trying to control going towards failure, and that was I knew after that one I was not going to get another rep. So another thing that I want to talk about here on my list of talking points, whatever, is pure exhaustion. So I have been going to the gym for almost a year now. I started in March of last year, actually. And one thing I want to discuss is pre-exhaustion. When I first started going to the gym, I just did a regular. However, I found it kind of got boring a little bit, but also I was just trying to go heavy all the time. I was trying to really push myself, and it was very hard, especially for somebody with a condition. I can't just go on bench and throw on like a plate and just rep it out. That was not possible. And a lot of the times what I was doing for push, I would do dumbbell bench press. The thing was, I couldn't go super heavy, so the heaviest I was doing was 10 pounds. So I would do my 10-pound dumbbells, and because I couldn't go lighter or couldn't go heavier, but also like I'm only at 10 pounds, so it's only so light I can go, it was very difficult for me, bro, and just like find a way to really target my chest. It wasn't until I found out about pre-exhaustion from a content creator named Alex Eubank, absolute goat, love his content. I learned about pre-exhaustion from him, and I've been doing it for, I want to say, I started it the end of last year, and it has helped me in building my mind-muscle connection, but also just improving in my lifts whenever I do any sort of free weight exercise. And essentially, TLDR.
Pre-exhausting, what that means, this is like, for example, when I go to hit, let's say if you're on a push-pull leg split and you're going on your push day and you want to feel your chest before you go in like the lift, I would go to a pec deck or I go to a cable fly. I would do just like 3 sets of like 15 to 20 reps of a pretty light weight. And now when you go into your bench press after that isolation movement, you are not going to be as strong as you would if you went straight to that bench press, though you will feel it a lot more. Now, you're still lifting a heavy weight after that isolation movement, you're just not lifting as heavy, right? You're gonna feel like you're lifting more weight, honestly. Like that lighter weight will feel heavier because you're already pre-exhausted a bit, but I feel like you'll feel the contraction 1,000 times more than if you went straight to that bench press.
And in other videos you'll see for other exercises, you'll see a very similar theme go on where I'll do an iso exercise first. So in this case, the cable rows, and then I'll do a compound exercise immediately after if I can, while the desired muscle group is still tired. And then the remaining exercises I think are just accessory exercises. So I believe after doing the pull-up, I did a high row, which this angle is absolutely terrible. Oh my goodness, we're not doing that. So I did a cable row or a high row. This is another back exercise. And then lastly, we got some forearms. So this is pull day. So even though I like my pull days to be lat biased, I still like to include my biceps and my forearms towards the end. And what I do is, so I seen this guy doing this exercise one time. Fantastic angle, of course. I gotta work on my angles. So what he did was he kind of squeezed in his hands, kind of as you see here, to work the underside of your forearms, and bro, that shit hurts. So I would do a superset. I would do regular cable forearm curls, and then I would do kind of these, whatever you want to call these, I don't know. Definitely recommend. So I would do these until essentially my third set, until failure, and then that would complete the pull day of a person with a condition. I hope, 20 minutes. This is gonna be fun to cut down. I know it might not look like I've been going to the gym for a year. You expect somebody going to the gym for a year to be way more, defined, I guess. But I definitely noticed a good amount of progress. But I've learned a lot as well. And kind of adding to that, if you have any sort of limitations or disability or whatever it may be, just because you can't do something that is traditional or for a while, I can't even do the bar yet. So instead of doing that, I would do my dumbbell bench press, which I stopped doing that, and now I do my cable flies. And I found that doing cables works my chest so much better than doing dumbbell flies, or dumbbell bench press, I'm sorry. So it's just, as an example, don't get caught up on, oh, I don't know what I'll do, or I don't know how to work around this. First step is going through the door. This next step is being consistent. Then after that, you can start to critique your exercises and learn and really figure out what you like and what you don't like and what you feel more than what other exercises provide. So it's like, ask questions as well. I'll try my best to answer if anybody has any questions. Yeah, that's really it. I hope you learned something, and stay tuned for other similar videos. So